Om Shri Sai Ram. Offering our most humble pranams at the lotus feet of beloved Bhagwan. Dear Swami, respected elders, dear brothers and sisters from across the globe, greetings on this very special day, which is Ishwarama Day. It is indeed an honor, a privilege and a pleasure that we have got this opportunity to participate in a virtual satsang to enjoy the love and grace of our beloved Bhagwan. To start off with, let us go back in time. Let us travel back 8 decades. 80 years ago in a nondescript town, Uravakonda, something unimaginably historic was happening at that point in time. Little Satya, our Swami, had walked home and thrown away all his school books, his science books, his history books. He had thrown away the history books and he was now walking into history books. He had said, "My devotees are calling, I don't belong to you, I have work to do, I have to go." And he set out, leaving behind his shocked sister-in-law, who quickly called his brother and said, "Something is wrong. Satyam has left home, he has thrown his books and gone." Where did Satyam head to? He headed to the bungalow of a certain Anjaneyulu, who was the excise inspector. Now this Anjaneyulu happened to be the parent of 2 of Swami's schoolmates, Narsimhadas and Subbaratnamma. Swami walked to their home as he would often do on a daily basis, but this day it was different. He refused to enter the home. He said to Anjaneyulu that "I am not coming in," and he walked into the garden. Now in the garden, Anjaneyulu had a small shrine, an altar built on a rock. On this rock was a mat and a carpet on which he had placed an idol of Shirdi Baba. Now incidentally and interestingly, this idol of Shirdi Baba too he had procured with the advice of the little Satyam. He had great admiration, adoration for Satyam, and he believed that he was not an ordinary child. There is something special and divine about him. So Swami had actually guided him to get that Shirdi Baba idol, which he had reverentially placed there and he was worshipping on a daily basis. And this day when Satyam was walking into the garden, Anjaneyulu hurried to that rock, cleared that Shirdi Baba idol and made place for Swami to be seated there. He also knew that something special is happening on that day. And Swami went and sat there on the rock in the altar in the garden of Anjaneyulu's residence. And once Swami sat there, he refused to move. He sat there reeling out Telugu poetry, the likes of which nobody had heard so frequently. He began to sing songs. In fact, that is the time he also sang his first ever bhajan, which is Manasa Bhajare Guru Charanam. He sat there not for a few minutes or a few hours. He sat there actually for 3 whole days without food, without drink, without rest, without anything. Throughout, 24 by 3, Swami was there. People began to gather around because something magical, something phenomenal was happening. Swami was also materializing trinkets, peppermints, different things, vibhuti, giving it to all those who had gathered. That was when a telegram was sent to the parents, Ishwarama and Pedda Venkama Raju, who were in Puttaparthi. On day 1 itself, the telegram was sent saying, "You better come here very soon." And they set out. And it was on the 3rd day that the parents reached Uravakonda. And now, Mother Ishwaramma walks into the compound of Anjaneyulu. And even as they walk in, everybody see and recognize, oh, these are the parents of Satyam. And by now, everybody has grown in awe and wonder of Satyam because of the things that he is doing. So they all start proclaiming, "Mata Pita ki Jai, Mata Pita ki Jai." They are heralding the parents of this divine child. But Ishwaramma was not concerned with all this. Her sole focus was her little son, who was seated there on the rock. She saw him there. She rushed. She wanted to know whether he has rested, whether he has had food. He had not had food. He had not had any drink. He had not taken rest. That was foremost in Ishwarama's mind. Mother Ishwarama rushes to Swami. And to her shock, what Swami tells her is, not actually her, Swami tells out, Maya has come. Maya has come. Maya has come. Just imagine the plight of this mother. She doesn't bother about that. She goes to him and asks, Satyam, have you had food? Says, Maya has left. Okay, Maya has left. But please, you must eat some food. Seeing the pangs of pain in the mother's heart, little Satyam, Swami agrees. And Swami says, yes, I will have food, you can cook for me. Ishwaramma, she rushes to cook. And she cooks everything that she knows is dear to her child. Some brinjal curry, charu or rasam, rice. She makes as many dishes as she can, as quickly as she can. And Satyam, after 3 days of being seated on the rock, finally gets up and goes to partake the food that his mother has made. And again, there also, he picks up all the food that is on the plate and mixes them completely and makes 3 balls with that food. Picks up one of the balls, gives it to his mother and says, give it to me and feed me. She puts it in his hand and Swami eats. Same thing with the second ball, same thing with the third morsel. And after that he says, Maya is gone. Ishwarama is devastated. She doesn't know what to do. She says, Swami, come back. She doesn't say Swami, she says, Satyam, come back to Puttaparthi. And he says, you go, I shall follow soon. Now this episode that happened at Uravakonda marked a grand change in everybody's life. We often celebrate that day as the Avatarhood Declaration Day, the 20th of October. But we don't realize that while the world gained an avatar on that day, a mother lost her son. From that day on, Ishwaramma is always praised, glorified as the mother of Swami, as the mother of the Lord. We always say how lucky is she, blessed is her soul. Yes, blessed is her soul and she is lucky. But what we don't realize is what she went through. She went through so much. Just like those devotees in Uravakonda who said, Mata Pita ki Jai, Mata Pita ki Jai, we always say Ishwaramma ki Jai, Dhanya ho Ishwaramma, we sing all these. We don't realize what she went through as a mother of the avatar. So today, we all thought that it would be a wonderful opportunity that Swami has given to us to actually delve into the day-to-day life of Ishwaramma, travel the journey that she travelled, so that we realize in the end that to whom much is given, from them much is expected. And Swami gave her the greatest gift. What is that? The gift of being the mother of the avatar. And since she was given the greatest, a lot was expected of her. And in today's satsang, we shall see how she conducted herself, how she lived up to that expectation, and what a role model she is, an inspiration that she is for all of us devotees. I would now request Brother Prem to take over this satsang.
Sairam, all of you, and it's wonderful to join you all on this very momentous occasion. Very beautifully, Arvind described for us the events which marked the beginning of Mother Ishwaramma's journey with Swami as the mother of the avatar. We are celebrating this day, the 6th of May, because it was on this very day, way back in 1972. The setting was the old bungalow in Vrindavan. The mother was seated in the ground floor, and it was her last moments, and she called out, Swami, Swami, Swami. Swami was in the first floor in his room and probably not in earshot. But instantly Swami said, Nenu ostanu, I'm coming. And Swami came rushing. Referring to those momentous occasions when Swami made the declaration in Uravakonda, Swami would say that Swami would capture that moment in a beautiful padyam that he would sing, where he says, I am no more bound to you. Mitoti deha sambandham na kinka. Swami would say, I don't have any more bodily bonding towards you. The same Swami who said, "I am not bound to you," came running when she called Swami, Swami. Kaadu nanpatta mariyetti ghanunikaina, he said. Nobody is going to be able to bind me. You might come as a mother, you might come as a father, with any kind of relationship, but nobody, however great they may be, they cannot bind me, Swami said. But in the end, she did bind Swami, didn't she? She managed to bind the Swami that declared that nobody can bind me. So we thought it would be very useful for us as devotees to find out what is it that she did with her life, that she managed to bind Swami, because that is the fondest desire for every devotee, isn't it? We want to bind Swami. When we call him, we want him to come. And more importantly, when we want to think of him in those last moments. And that is why we thought it is very important to look at Mother Ishwarama's life. But having said that, this is not to belittle the role that she played as Swami's mother. It is said that whenever the Lord takes an avatar, be it as Rama, be it as Krishna, many evolved souls who had pined for the opportunity to be near the Lord, they would take whatever role that was available to come down in that form. The citizens of Ayodhya probably loved Rama as their king, but they might have been great devotees who came to be born as citizens of Ayodhya so that in some form they could express love to the Lord. The Gopalas, who were mere cowherds, but they were all great souls, as Swami himself would say, who took up the role that in some form, as a friend, as a companion, they could love the Lord. In fact, there is this very beautiful conversation that happens in Srimad Bhagavatam, where Sukha Maharishi is talking about the great love that the Gopikas had for Krishna, and he said they loved him so much that they reached the highest state. And at that point, Parikshit has a doubt. He says, but Guru, how is that possible? They probably did not realize how great Krishna was. They didn't look at him as Parabrahman. It is said that when you recognize God as the Supreme, that knowledge itself makes you reach the ultimate state. But they looked at him as a neighborhood boy, a charming boy nevertheless, but probably they did not realize what a blessed opportunity they were having. How is it possible that their love was so supreme that it took them to the ultimate? Sukha Maharishi laughs and he says, "O Parikshit, by hating the Lord, Shishupala reached his feet. What would I tell about the love the Gopikas had for him?" And then Sukha Maharishi says a very beautiful point. He says, any form of love, be it the love a friend has for another friend, a companion has, that of romantic love, any form of love when expressed towards the Lord sublimates the heart from where that love arises. And if we were to talk about all the very different types of relationships that are there in this world, what is the most purest? In Swami's own revelation, it is the love that a mother has for the child, Vatsalya Prema. And Mother Ishwarama had the opportunity to have that Vatsalyam, to the very fact that she managed to probably acquire that role of being the mother of the avatar speaks volumes about what a great personality that she is. So it is not to take away the fact that by being the mother of the avatar, there was much that she taught us. So not only are we going to look at Mother Ishwarama, the devotee, but it is also important to look at Mother Ishwarama, the mother. I'll invite Brother Bishu to speak a little about the mother aspect of this great devotee.
Om Shri Saram. Thank you, Prem. Thank you, Arvind. It's really a huge blessing to join all of you on this beautiful day. And as Prem was mentioning, the most beautiful form of love, the most potent emotion of this universe is Vatsalya Prema, is that love of a mother to the child. And for Ishwarama, Swami was the darling son. Ishwarama Priyanandana. That's how we sing. Priyanandana. She was so favorite of the mother. And what any mother would want to do for the child? Do the best. And Mother Ishwarama was striving to do the best for Swami, but this was difficult. Why? Because little Satya was so different. All the clothes come from Bukapatnam, and the elders in the family tell the children, all of you pick whichever dress you want. And little Satya stands there and does not take any dress. He just stands and smiles. And Mother Ishwarama says, Satya, pick up whatever you want. And he still does not choose a single item there. So the mother calls Satya close, hugs him and says, Satya, which color you like, pick. Okay, tell me in my ear, what is your preference? And Satya says, Amma, I don't want anything. Whatever is left, that is enough for me. Imagine the plight of a mother who wants to do the best for the child, but here is a child who does not want anything. He will not tell if he is hungry. He will not tell if he is not well. You don't know whether he is fine today or not. And it is so difficult to make him eat. As a child, when Mother Ishwarama was trying to feed Satya, if there was slightest noise, if there was a baby crying in the next door, if there was a sannyasi on the streets, or if there was just the sound of the cawing of a crow, any slightest noise, and Satya would just leave the plate and go away. He would not eat. On one occasion, Satya just did not eat, not for one whole day, not for 2 days, 3 days, 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. For 36 continuous days, Satya did not eat. He would only drink a cup of buttermilk, that also with a lot of persuasion. And for Mother Ishwarama, that was the most traumatic moment. Among the many traumatic moments, this was one moment which she would recall with so much pain. How to take care of this boy? And many times if you ask him, Satya, what about your food? He will say, your Ananda is my Ahara. And for mother, it was a complete conundrum. How can somebody's happiness be his food? What is he trying to say? Here is someone who has no appetite. He has no hunger to appease. He has no taste to satisfy. He has no preference for food. He has no likes and dislikes, and he has no time to spare. But mother being mother, whenever Mother Ishwarama would get a chance, especially when Bhagwan was traveling, she would go into the kitchen and she would prepare charu, she would prepare Rayalaseema dishes, Andhra cuisine, so that she would think at least Swami will eat one extra spoonful. This is what happened when Bhagwan was in Jamnagar, in the house of Rajmata. Mother Ishwarama prepared charu, and when the hosts were serving Swami and everybody was enjoying the divine company of Bhagwan during the dining session, Mother Ishwarama's eyes was fixed only on Swami's plate. Her only concern was, is he eating at least a little more? He's working so hard, why can't he eat? And in all this background, in 1968, when Swami decided to go to Africa, that was the most terrifying moment for her. She was mortally horrified. She went to the elders, she went to Mr. Vittal Rao, she went to Professor Kasturi. She said, what is this I'm hearing? You are taking Swami away to East Africa. Do you have any idea what is there in East Africa? Vaddu, don't take. I heard in East Africa there are huge, thick jungles. The elephants are huge there. There are very terrific tigers, leopards. And I heard even the people there, they are all very tall, they are menacing like cannibals. Our Swami is so small, he is so tiny. How will he manage? Please don't take. And she started crying. And so Professor Kasturi, Mr. Vittal Rao, they tried to explain to the mother, pacify her. No, Amma Garu, we will take care of everything. High security arrangements are being made. And besides, Swami is God, isn't it, Amma? And that moment, Mother Ishwarama stopped crying and she just looked at the elders and she was ferocious. She said, listen, you are saying Swami is God. You know Swami is God. I know Swami is God. Do the wild animals and savages in Africa know that Swami is God? And she started crying again. So this was that sweet innocence and care of the mother for Bhagwan. And Bhagwan loved her sweet innocence and purity. And to be a mother of the avatar is not an easy task. I'll ask Brother Arvind to continue this session because there are so many very, very beautiful lessons that we can learn as we look at the journey of the mother.
Thank you, Bishu. Yes, I must remind everybody that at this point in time we may wonder, when they said that Mother Ishwarama did this, Mother Ishwarama did that, we will think that what is so special in this? I'm saying this because oftentimes when Swami would speak about his mother in the discourses, I would also get this thought, like, what is so special? I mean, this is what every mother does for her child, or for the son or daughter. Any mother will do this. Any mother will be concerned whether there is food, whether the child has had food or not, or whether the child is taking rest or not. But then, when we look back now, we realize that Ishwarama had to do a sacrifice that possibly very few mothers or possibly no mothers, only the divine mothers have done possibly. What is that sacrifice? Thinking of the Ramayana, of late it is being aired and we are all watching the Ramayana and enjoying it. Based on the Tulsidas Ramayana, we know that Rama had three mothers. Kausalya is his mother, who gave birth to him, but then the other sister queens, which is Kaikeyi and Sumitra, they are also considered like his mothers. And in fact, it is Kaikeyi who tells that Rama should be banished. And then the tearful scene is there when Rama has to leave for the forest. At that point in time, amazingly, Rama goes first and falls at Kaikeyi's feet, and then falls at Sumitra's feet. Watching it, you just wonder, oh my God, how Kausalya must be feeling, my son. And it is, in fact, she is the one who is sending him to the forest. He is going and falling at her feet. And then at the end of the Vanavas, after killing Ravana and he is back, that time also again Rama falls first at Kaikeyi's feet, then Sumitra's feet, then Kausalya's feet. This kind of sacrifice that a divine mother makes, I'll come to that. The point is, Ishwarama cared for Swami as her son, yes, but she had to go one more notch level in her selflessness. Mother's love is the most selfless, no doubt, but she had to be selfless enough to even share her son. She did not have unique rights over her son. Konamma, Sakamma, Subbamma, so many ammas came and everybody wanted to care for Swami. And Swami, having come on the avataric mission, gave opportunities to everyone. So many times, though Ishwarama as a mother, she pined to do so much for Swami, she had to hold back and be selfless enough. See, that is something very special. We have to remember that, when we think that Ishwarama, like any mother, she loved her child. No, she loved to such a great extent, her selflessness was such that she was ready to share. Now, even when we think that, we may think that, come on, she is the mother of the avatar. Being the mother of the avatar, she will know that this is expected of her, It's not so easy. How does she know that she is the mother of the avatar? We think, all these miracles, her birth itself, the blue ball of light. Today we think of the blue ball of light and say, wow, what a miracle. Now, let's just go back in time. Let's go into Ishwarama's shoes, if we can. Because being the humble lady that she is, she never possibly wore shoes all her life. In fact, when Swami had taken her to Uttar Pradesh as the guest of the governor, Burugula Ramakrishna Rao, Ishwarama refused to stay at the governor's residence. She stayed at the residence of a school teacher. She refused to travel in those luxurious cars that were given to her. She travelled in a van along with other devotees. Such an epitome of humility. That's why in one discourse Swami said, she was unlettered and yet she had all the knowledge, because Vidya dadati vinayam. Education must confer humility, and she was an epitome of humility. So if we are managing to get into Mother Ishwarama's shoes, let's look at that blue ball of light. For her, it was a shocking incident. At that point in time, it was not like a miracle. Imagine early in the morning, the sun has not risen, she has gone and she is drawing water from the well. Suddenly, out of the blue, a blue ball comes and strikes her and she is knocked off unconscious. She is found later, taken home, and she doesn't know what has happened. Today we can look at it and say what a miracle it was. If we had been in her place, it wouldn't have been like a miracle. It was very frightening, it was very scary, and that is precisely the reason she didn't share it with anyone. In fact, we have got to know of the blue ball incident because there was a Pandit Rama Shastri who asked Swami whether his birth was a Pravesha or a Prasava. Prasava means normal birth by conception and Pravesha is entry. That is when Swami indicated to his Grihamammai, his mother, and said, tell him what happened that day when you were at the well. And that is when Mother Ishwaramma related this incident. See, if it's a miracle, imagine when we are walking in our home, little Vibhuti comes or little Amrit comes, we will go and parade it, right? We will share it on Facebook, we will do this, hey, miracle, because it's a miracle. When we recognize something as a miracle, we will share it everywhere. Ishwaramma for 4 decades didn't share it with anyone. Why? Because at that point in time, it didn't feel like a miracle for her. It was a scary incident. Today we look back and say it's a miracle. But what she went through. Then the other one, when Swami is born, there is the Adishesha that came to serve its Lord. But as far as Mother Ishwaramma was concerned, it's a newborn infant baby there. And as the baby is lying there on the bed sheet, there is a cobra. Just imagine, just put ourselves in that place. If we see a cobra near a baby, will we say, oh, Adishesha has come, this is Mahavishnu? No, it's not a miracle. It's a scary, frightening thing. And that is how it was for Mother Ishwaramma. All those miracles and those leelas were very scary for her. That is why, today morning we had a beautiful session with Ramakrishna Reddy sir, a school teacher who had the privilege of interacting with Mother Ishwaramma. When he was an 11-year-old, he always was curious to ask from Mother Ishwaramma, how was Swami when Swami was 11-year-old, because we often, our parents keep telling us, when Abraham Lincoln was your age, what he was doing? Do you know when Mahatma Gandhi was your age, what all he used to do? As inspiration they would like to tell us. So he also wanted to know what was Swami doing as a boy. He never got an opportunity to ask Mother Ishwaramma because Ishwaramma would always be surrounded by people, and if not, she would be going elsewhere and doing her own seva. One day he found her sitting by herself and he went to her and said, Amma, I want to ask something very eager, I have been wanting to ask. She said, ask my child, ask whatever you want. Emboldened by her love and very compassionate look, he said, how was Swami when he was like my age, 10 years or 11 years old? There was a dumbstruck silence from Mother Ishwaramma, after which she began to cry and weep and wail and she was sobbing inconsolably. And this little boy got scared, seeing what had he done, what had he asked. When he went and told his mother what had happened, she told him, never ask Mother Ishwaramma about the early days of Swami. It's very painful for her. See, today, whether through Satya to Sai or many ways, we look at the childhood of Swami and say, wow, Leela phase. The first 16 years are Leela phase. Those Leelas caused great anguish and pain for the mother's heart. We have to put ourselves in her shoes and then we realize what a great devotee she has been, what forbearance she has shown, what sacrifice she has shown. And on this day especially, we should see in that perspective because it gives us hope, it gives us inspiration on how we should proceed. When all these things happened which were causing great tumult in her heart, great fear in her heart, great anguish to her, yet she held on, she focused and began to grow as a devotee. She overcame all these challenges through her steadfast devotion. And to deal with this aspect of hers, the devotee aspect of hers, I would like to invite Brother Prem to pitch in.
Thank you, Arvind. And indeed, that you can speak endlessly about those instances of her mothering Swami. Speaking about another avatar, another mother, Swami would often say, Yashoda was a witness to many, many miracles that Krishna performed. But shortly thereafter, he would envelop her in his Maya so that she would forget the experiences that she had. And that was one way by which Lord Krishna was blessing her with the opportunity to enjoy this motherly love that only she had the opportunity to shower on the Lord. And in many ways you can see that's what happened with Mother Ishwarama too. But in this whole process, there was a change her heart had to undergo. And Swami was doing it silently and slowly and bit by bit. In the initial years, as we've been discussing, as Arvind said and Bishu was also sharing, her love for Swami expressed itself as concern for Swami's physical well-being, Swami's name and fame also, because there are some beautiful episodes where when Swami would give a discourse or when Swami would give an interview and Swami would say that my devotees, wherever you are, I will come and protect you, you just have to call me, I'll come. And Mother Ishwarama would be sitting in a corner and wondering, this boy is giving all kinds of promises. Tomorrow if he doesn't go, what will people talk of him? So she was concerned of Swami's fame, and when Swami would quote the Vedas and the Upanishads and the Gita, she would go and ask the other scholars like Professor Kasturi, Amritananda, who was there, Serigane Cheptunada? She would go and ask them, is he quoting properly? Are these things really there in the scriptures? And she always had the fear that one day a scholar or a Pandit would come and say, these are not there in the scriptures, or you have quoted it wrongly. So she was scared, her concern, the love that she had for Swami expressed itself as concern, and that concern expressed itself as she wanting Swami to do certain things in a certain manner. When somebody invited Swami to a place in South India which was known for atheism and extremism, Swami had accepted the invitation. The moment she got to know of it, she came running, puffing and panting to Swami's dining room, and Swami was having food. Swami looked at her and said, "Hey Mayindi, why did you come running like this?" And she said, "Swami, I heard like this. Please give me a boon that you will not go there. Promise me that you will not go there." Swami asked, "Why are you saying that?" She says, "Swami, I hear that they are not believers in God. Why do you have to go to such a place? Isn't there any other place where you can go and spread goodness?" Then Swami said, "See, the doctor needs to go where people are sick. That is precisely the place where I have to go, and don't stop me." But that was her concern, she was worried for Swami. But slowly, the love that she had for Swami began to transform into trying to do what pleased Swami. There was this very beautiful episode that devotees who were there in Prashanti Nilayam in the early 60s narrate. Those were the days when you didn't have the East Prashanti, South Prashanti and all these blocks. There used to be some small houses that Swami had permitted people to build around the mandir. So in one particular bricked hut which was there was this elderly lady, and she used to cook. She had a primitive stove which they used to have firewood and charcoal. So when she was cooking, there was a lot of smoke. She had latched the hut from inside. The smoke became too much. She had inhaled all of that, and she fell unconscious. And nobody was around. Around 10 o'clock in the morning, they realized that this lady had not come out for a long time. So they go and knock at the door, no response. So they break open the door and they go inside. They find this lady is fallen unconscious. They rush her to the general hospital, which was there by then, and Swami is duly informed. The moment Swami got to know, Swami himself went to the general hospital, inquired about her well-being. And Swami being Swami, he comes back and he calls all the residents of Prashanti Nilayam at that point in time, and he tells them, "See, isn't it your duty to inquire about the well-being of the neighbors? How can you not be concerned about the people who are there around you? It should be your duty that every morning go and knock at their door, ask them whether they're doing well, ensure that they're all keeping well," because there were a lot of elderly people around. So Swami gave this instruction, and whether or not others followed it, apparently others also followed it, but Mother Ishwarama took it to her heart. She made it her morning duty that every morning she would wake up and go from room to room and ask them if they're all fine. And she was doing this for a long time, and one day it was probably in the evening time, it had become a little dark. When she was walking, she trips over a pile of bricks. Probably it is the place where right now you see the post box as you enter Kulwant Hall, right? That was the place. She trips and she falls. So people who see her falling, they come and they immediately take her to one of the quarters which is nearby, and she is groaning in pain and she's saying, "Swami, Swami, Swami." She's holding her feet. They feared the worst. They thought she must have sustained a fracture. They were all very worried for her. Then immediately they send word for Swami. So Swami comes with Professor Kasturi and Raja Reddy Garu, And very casually Swami walks in and Swami says, "Why are you roaming around like this?" He asks Mother Ishwarama, "Why can't you be in one place, going from one room to the other?" See, Mother Ishwarama is groaning in pain. She doesn't look at Swami and say, "Swami, cure me. Swami, do something for my pain." She's only saying, "Swami, Swami, Swami." And then she looks at Swami and she says, "Swami, Meeru Devudu, you are God. You can be in one place and take care of everybody everywhere. But we cannot do that. If we have to find out the well-being of somebody, we have to go to them." And the people who were there, who witnessed the scene, they say, Swami's face lit up when she said this. Right? Because now truly her heart, we are nobody to judge her love, we are nobody to pass remarks about her love and devotion, but clearly there was a transformation that was happening. That love that was filled with Vatsalyam, which was expressing itself as concern, which was expressing itself as, "Swami, you do this way." Now she was wondering, what does Swami like? Can I do it that way? And that is why whatever Swami did thereafter, and this is not to put it chronologically, but when Swami began building the general hospital, she also was one of those people who volunteered to carry bricks and the construction material. When Swami would set up a camp, medical camp, she would be so happy to participate in that and go amongst the patients. She would be one of the volunteers who would go and ask the patients, are they fine? It came to a point where devotees who used to visit those times would say that when you come to Prashantanilayam, of course the first agenda is to meet Swami, but the next most important thing would be to go and meet the mother, because they found no difference between her and Swami. The same love, the same affection, that very shy, humble village lady had transformed it into somebody, as Arvind was saying. At no point you could find her alone. At no point she would tell that, "I'm tired, don't disturb me, go away, I want to take rest." At any time you go, you would go and speak to her. Anybody could go and express their pains to her, and they would do that with a hope that she would go and tell Swami. And many times Swami would say, "Hey, don't call Mother Ishwarama, the moment she comes, she'll start recommending for somebody." She had become that. Swami would often say in his discourses, one of the stages that a devotee reaches is Sarupyam. You become like the Lord. And clearly, through this transformation in her love, Mother Ishwarama was becoming like Swami in the way she loved others. Right? And that is the lesson that we all can learn from her. These were some of the things that you can observe in her life. But nevertheless, today is a significant day, and I think I'll invite the brothers here to speak about those last few moments and how beautiful and how significant they were.
Thank you, Prem. Just continuing on the journey of Mother Ishwarama, before we come to the final moment, if you look at the transition of the mother, as we were having this discussion, if you are following us, you would see that first we talked about the love of the mother, which expressed in the form of concern. So at that point in time, she felt that I loved Swami the most. He's my darling child, and I love Swami the most, and that's why I want Swami to do this, because I think this is best for Swami. This is best for my child. So she was in that mold for very long. Swami, don't do this. Swami, eat. Swami, don't travel. Swami, you cannot go here. Swami, don't talk to this person. Swami, this person cannot be trusted. So this was her mold continuously. So that was phase one. And slowly, as Prem was saying, she slowly realized that no, the way to love Swami is to like and do what he wants us to do. And that is when you see the broadening of her heart, because she was always pious. We know that she always wanted to care, but when she saw how Swami was day and night going out of his way to help people, that's when she realized, oh, this is what Swami wants. This is what Swami wants in all of us. And that is what she started cultivating. And if you see, so this is the beautiful second phase where her heart expanded to such an extent that she became an ocean of compassion. The second phase, I love Swami the most and I will do what he wants, what he likes. Now you will think, wow, this is a great stage to be in. But the mother did not stop there. If you look at the journey, it is so beautiful. Opened up for the mother, because when she filled her heart with compassion, now Swami said, since you love me in this manner and with this intensity, now I will do what you want. Now your likes are my likes. Because you said, Swami, your likes are my likes. Now Swami is telling, no, now your likes are my likes. I was talking to you about the Africa trip, 1968. In fact, Bhagwan always took the mother along with him wherever he travelled. If Swami went to Bengaluru, if Swami went to Mysuru, if Swami went to Badrinath, if Swami went to Gujarat, wherever Swami went, the mother was always part of Bhagwan's entourage. The only time it did not happen was during the trip to East Africa. And on that occasion, Swami had Mother Ishwarama stay in the house of Mr. Java, an industrialist. And Swami told Mr. Java, see, you don't come with me to South Africa, you look after Mother Ishwarama. And Mr. Java had many daughters. One very beautiful privilege and honor and blessing this family had at that point in time was, Bhagwan would call from Africa to talk to Mother Ishwarama. And this family had the opportunity of telephonic sambhashanam, long distance telephonic blessings from Swami, because they had the opportunity to house Mother Ishwarama. And during that period, Mother Ishwarama interacted a lot with Mr. Java's daughters. And as she was continuously learning about them, all these daughters of Mr. Java were educated. They were in Mumbai. And the way they were conducting themselves, the way they were so much aware of the world, the way they were so refined in their approach, that had such an indelible impact on the mother that she felt, wow, how beautiful it will be if all the girl children in India are also educated in this manner, if they have such nice grooming. And for this reason, when Bhagwan returned from Africa, right at the airport, Mother Ishwarama calls Swami aside and says, Swami, I have a request. Can you promise me I want this to be done? Swami says, what? I want you to make a college for women. And Swami says, yes, definitely. Definitely we will do this. In fact, Swami involves Mr. Java also in the selection of the land and construction of the Anantapur College. And what did Swami do? Then Swami attributed not just the Anantapur College, but the entire education mission to Mother Ishwarama. Not only education mission, take any mission, the healthcare mission, the social care mission, every mission, Swami now attributed it to the likes and the wishes of the mother. Why only missions? Even Swami choosing to stay in Puttaparthi and making Prashant Nilayam the spiritual headquarters of his mission way back in the 1940s, when Maharajas and very eminent people started coming to see Swami, there were requests from these people, from the maternal uncle of Mysore Maharaja, from Sakamma Garu. They told Swami, Swami, how can you stay in this village? It is so difficult. You have such a big mission. We will build a huge mansion for you in Mysore. You please come and stay there. We will look after everything. You can have darshans there freely. You can interact with people. Other people can come and easily see you. And Swami said, I don't need palatial mansions to stay. I will stay here. And that night, Mother Ishwarama went to Swami. She was in tears and she said, Swami, all these people, they are selfish, Swami. Because of their selfish reasons, they want to take you away from Puttaparthi. But listen to this. If you leave Puttaparthi, I will leave my body right now. Promise me that you will not leave Puttaparthi. And Swami said, definitely. Swami in that discourse says, I gave her that word, and that is the reason why I built Prashanti Nilayam as the ashram. Now, if you see, it was not as if the mother had not requested this, these ways in which the mission unfolded would not have happened. In fact, before Swami went to Africa itself, the construction of the Anandpur college, the planning and all that had already begun. Right? When the divine consciousness decided on his advent, at that point in time itself, he has decided Puttaparthi to make this the abode of supreme peace. All this was decided. But because Mother Ishwarama now was not just a mother, she graduated herself in her love for Swami to such an extent that she was not just a mother, but she almost like became a foremost pupil of Swami. She was absorbing the lesson that Swami was telling us to cultivate, to broaden her heart. And because she broadened her heart to such an extent that she became hollow, she became completely egoless. She just became an instrument of the Lord. She had nothing, her desires. Then Swami said, okay, now your will, my will is only one will. It's the same will. Whatever you wish, the same thing is my wish also. Because now there is no difference between you and me. Whatever you like, that is what we will do. Because there is no difference. As Prem was talking about Sarupya, Sayujya. So that is the progression of the mother. And to me it appears that this is the most powerful lesson that we need to learn from the journey of Mother Ishwarama. The journey of every devotee to Swami has so many powerful pointers for us, because Mother Ishwarama rose from being a mother to becoming a saint, to almost becoming a goddess. And that journey has so many beautiful lessons. If as devotees, if we take that trouble to contemplate, then our reading the life of Mother Ishwarama would find sanctification. Coming now to the last moments of the mother, I will invite Brother Arvind to take over. There is so much to share, but given that we had decided to keep it 1 hour, we will come now to the final moment, because that was again a very, very powerful moment.
Sairam once again, and yes, it's so beautiful to listen to all this. It's an amazing opportunity of Shravanam and Kirtanam that Swami has given us, and I'm so grateful to him and his instrument. As both Prem and Bishu said, you know, the way Mother Ishwarama has grown, it's almost like his Swami's will and her will became the same. She showed the same love and selflessness like Bhagwan. In fact, Swami had once mentioned how in the days when her heart bled seeing the lack of medical facility, she came to Swami and said, Swami, I think we should have one small hospital or something. Swami said, where is the money for that? Instantly, without a second's thought, she just pulled out the necklace she was wearing and said, so take this, take this. Then Swami said, hey, I was just joking, keep it, we will have it. You know, that kind of spontaneity, when we are told that there is a problem like this, will we immediately contribute? No, we will think, right? I need to save up this, I need for my child's wedding, for child's education. Then having kept all that I need, what is left little now I will give to others. That is how we normally behave. How was Mother Ishwarama? She was different. She spontaneously just gave everything. And then what remained with that, she was ready to adjust. Same like Swami. And that's why beautifully Brother Bishu has said that Swami said, whatever you want I'll do, because I see no difference in your ichcha, in your will and my will. It is often said, the way a person passes on, the way a person dies, shows a way a person has lived. And that is why, we come to this day. In fact, the 6th of May is so special because of the 6th of May 1972. That was the year when the first ever summer course in the history of the Satyasai Avatar was being conducted. At that time it was just the Sri Satyasai Arts and Science College. In 1969, as Bishu narrated, when Mother Ishwarama requested, the Anantapur College had come up. Now the Brindavan Sri Satyasai Arts and Sciences College had come, and that, under the auspices of the college, a summer course in Indian culture and spirituality was being held from the 1st of May 1972 to the 31st of May 1972 in Brindavan, Bangalore. Mother Ishwarama was there, and she was in bliss because she felt finally the future of this country is safe. I am seeing all these children, 300 students from across India, 100 girl children and 200 boy children had come to attend this, and every night they would enjoy a Parayanam with Mother Ishwarama. She would give Parayanam, she would explain, she would talk, and she felt so blissful, she felt so happy. At this age in youth, when the youth around the world are running behind so many things, here are youth who are running behind God and the values in life. This thing is safe. She felt extremely satisfied. And this we know because Swami himself said in a discourse, he said Mother Ishwarama was supremely satisfied. In fact, on the 5th of May 1972, Swami asked her, what do you want? He asked her, what do you want? How are you feeling? She said, Swami, by now she was addressing him as Swami. She had become a devotee of the Lord. She said, I am very happy, Swami. All these children, seeing all this, I feel so happy. I have no desires left. That is what she said. Because till then, whenever Swami had asked, she would say, Swami, there is this hospital. Swami, we should give water. Swami, we should give education. This is what she used to tell. And again, as we realized from this discussion, it was not her desire. It was the Lord's will that was flowing through her, just like the breath of Lord Krishna flowed through the flute. Swami's will was flowing through her, and having flowed, it was time for the river to reach the sea, and that's why Ishwarama said, Swami, I have no desire, I am very happy. And sweetly in that discourse, Swami said later on that she actually had one desire. She wanted to gift some things to her granddaughter who was there at that time. So Swami gave her 500 rupees, which was a princely sum in those days. Swami said, go buy something. And she didn't buy anything for her. She bought everything for her granddaughter. And then came the 6th of May. Having that last desire which the Lord knew, that was also fulfilled. Swami was upstairs, as Prem referred to in the beginning of the satsang. Mother Ishwarama, having finished her bath, she was having her coffee at Swami's residence in the bungalow there. And the moment came. The moment came and she said, Swami, Swami, Swami. And for every time she said, Swami, Swami, Swami said, I am coming, I am coming, I am coming. Swami rushed down, and as Swami narrates in the discourse, Swami came down and beholding his beautiful form with a peaceful smile on her face, in the most serene manner, Mother Ishwarama left. Swami often tells us in his discourses that the prominent thought at the time of death determines your next birth. We often think that, oh, that means only when I am dying, if I think of God, that's enough. We do not realize that that is as foolish as saying winning an Olympic 100-meter race gold medal is very easy. We just have to run for those 7 seconds very fast or 10 seconds very fast. To run very fast for those 10 seconds, we need a lifetime of practice. So too, to remember the Lord at the time of death, we need a lifetime of practice. And Ishwarama, she is so blessed is she that she remembered only the Lord, only Swami, nothing else came. Her daughter Venkamagaru was beside her, her granddaughter was there. Nobody she called out. The only words that came out of her mouth, Swami, Swami, Swami. And going by what Swami has said, the last dominant thought in your mind at the point of death decides your next birth. This was not the dominant thought. This was the only thought. It is therefore, without doubt, we know that that is where she has reached. It is not a next birth. She has reached Swami, Swami, Swami. And it is possibly to celebrate this devotee. See, we think that the devotee pines for the Lord. The Lord equally pines for the devotee. That is why, when Annamacharya in the end feels that I am not getting moksha, Lord, why are you making me wait? The Lord appears before him and tells Annamacharya, why I am not giving you moksha? Because Annamacharya, Annamaya, if you come into me, who will sing for me? The Lord also misses and yearns for a devotee like that. And Ishwarama was one such devotee. As Prem and Bishu said, started off like a mother, but today she is a crest jewel as a beacon light for all of us to show how a devotee should be, how a devotee should grow from caring for Swami to making Swami's likes our own likes, to finally become an instrument where we have no desires of our own. His will is our desire. To share their concluding thoughts, final few thoughts, Brother Bishu and Brother Prem.
So just continuing from what Arvind said, I want to take you back to that historic moment, May 6, 1972. He narrated how Mother Ishwarama called out, I am coming, called out, Swami, Swami. And Mr. Raman Rao, who was there in Vrindavan, he had come with a batch of Sevadal from Hyderabad to look after the food arrangements for the summer course. He was very fortunate to be there during this period, and he says, on that day, that morning, when Mother Ishwarama called out to Swami, when Swami emerged from his room, he was very calm, he was very composed. It was almost as if Swami was just ready, waiting for the call. And Swami came down with a silk sari in his hand, and Swami very lovingly draped that new cloth on the mother, and then looking at Mr. Raman Rao, Swami said, go immediately to the Bengaluru city market. Go and buy flowers. We will need a lot of flowers. You are not going to get that quantity of flowers in Puttaparthi. And Swami thrust some currency notes in his hand, and Mr. Raman Rao did not want to take money from Swami, but there was no time, no space to think. Swami said, rush, go immediately. And so Mr. Raman Rao went to the Bengaluru city market. On the journey he is thinking which flowers to buy, what kind of flowers to buy. Should I buy loose flowers? Should I buy garlands? Which is the best place? How much money do I have? What is the quantity I should buy? So he's thinking about all this, and he goes to one particular shop, flower shop owner, and he says, I want this huge quantity of flowers. And the shop owner asks, can I ask you, why do you need these flowers? And Mr. Raman Rao hesitated, because obviously they would not know Mother Ishwarama. We are talking about 1970s. So he did not want to say anything, but the shop owner was very keen. So he said, Mother Ishwarama passed away, and that's why I need the flowers. And the moment the shop owner heard this, the shop owner started crying. He said, oh my God, Mother Ishwarama passed away. Why didn't you tell? Why are you hesitating to tell? When did this happen? How did this happen? What did Swami say? I can't imagine, Mother is not there. And he started crying so loudly that all the other shop owners started coming there, and they started gathering, they started asking, what happened? And Raman Rao sir had to do all that explanation. And he said, see, all this is fine, but please can you give me flowers, because Swami has told me I have to take the flowers and go to Puttaparthi. And they just loaded the vehicle. The van was full. In 10 minutes they filled the van with flowers. And now Mr. Raman was trying to give them money. And they said, come on, how can you do this? How can you give us money? No, this is for the mother. They're all, first of all, in deep pain. For Raman Rao, it was absolute shock. He thought these people will have no idea who Mother Ishwarama is. Not only they know who is Mother Ishwarama, they are in deep pain. They are in so much grief. They have so much love for the mother. Some city market in Bengaluru, some flower shop owners. But he thrust that money in their hands. He says, please, Swami has given me this money, so you have to accept this, otherwise I will get reprimanded from Swami, and please accept it as prasadam. And so they take that money that Mr. Raman Rao gave them as Swami's prasadam, and Mr. Raman Rao reached Prashanti Nilayam noon time, and by that time the news had spread like wildfire. People had come from so many neighboring villages. Mr. Raman Rao says in those days crowds were not that great. The Sai Kulam Hall probably was 1/4 or 1/5 of what it is today, and people were in hundreds, sometimes people be really in thousands. But that day it's like the whole Puttaparthi was overflowing. So many people had come and they were all crying. They said, now whom will we go to tell our problems? Who will take our problems to Swami? We lost our mother. How can mother go? People were crying. And Mr. Raman Rao said, that was a moment of revelation for me. That day I realized Mother Ishwarama was not just the mother of the avatar. Mother Ishwarama was the mother of so many. She was the mother of the maroon. She was the mother of the distressed. She was the mother of everyone who needed help. She was the mother of the world. Once when we asked Mrs. Ratanlal, Auntie, what is that one virtue of Mother Ishwarama that you would want that every woman in this world should cultivate? Mrs. Ratanlal said, you are asking for one virtue? Arey, Mother Ishwarama was the embodiment of all the virtues that are laid down in the scriptures about the character and conduct of a pious woman. She was the living scripture on ideal womanhood. That is the glorious life of Mother Ishwarama. Dhanya ho, dhanya ho. I will request Brother Prem to share his concluding remarks.
Thank you, Vishu, and thank you, Arvind, for those beautiful recollections. There is a very beautiful poem that Swami recites, one of my favorite poems that Swami would say in his discourses. Swami says, Chikkina saayini vakkalayaka chakka chesukondi, poyina dorukadu ee partisuni pada sevayandi. Chikkina saayini. Swami says, you have found the Sai. I have found Swami as my chancellor. Somebody might have found Swami as a traveler. They were probably the pilot to a plane, and they found Swami as a passenger in that plane. Mother Ishwarama found Swami as a child. In whatever way we might have found Swami, Swami says, what now you have to do is hold on to him in a manner that he becomes yours. Chikkina saayini vakkalayaka, without letting go. Chakka chesukondi, make him yours. Because once you leave this opportunity, you never know when it will come again. And I think that is what Mother Ishwarama did. Because from that declaration that Swami said that you cannot bind me, she eventually bound Swami. She bound Swami in a manner that a true devotee binds. Swami said, I don't have bodily relationships with you. When you come as a mother, when you come as any kind of a relationship that is worldly, you cannot bind me. But the same Swami who says that, we all know that Chinnakatha Swami speaks about, what is the greatest in creation, and this is the question that Vishnu asks Narada, and Narada says earth is the greatest. and then he says 3/4 of the earth is covered by water, so water is greatest. Then eventually it goes to Agastya. I'm sure most of our listeners will be familiar with the Chinnakatha. Eventually Swami says that great Lord is bound in a devotee's heart. So who is greater? Is the Lord greater or is the devotee greater? And I think that is the beautiful lesson that we can learn from the life of Mother Ishwarama. But even as we contemplate on these lessons that Mother Ishwarama, the devotee, teaches us, on this day let us also take a moment to thank Ishwarama, the mother of Swami. Because we all would have loved to be in that position to nurse Swami, to feed Swami, right? He's our dear Swami. On our behalf, she cared for Swami. She carried the burden of concern when Swami did not eat, when Swami fell sick. So she was our representative in whatever love that we would love to show Swami as that Vatsalya Prema. On our behalf, she showed it, and I think she owes our most heartfelt gratitude for that. With these thoughts, dear listeners, thank you for joining us. We would like to most humbly offer this effort at Swami's lotus feet, and for this opportunity to contemplate on Swami and this beautiful devotee, Mother Ishwarama. We would like to conclude with a song which is a tribute to Mother Ishwarama. We offer this at Swami's lotus feet. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram.
కృష్ణునికి జన్మనిచ్చిన తల్లిగానే మిగిలిపోయే కలిలో దేవగిరమ్మ షిరడి సాయిని కానల పాలు చేసి తరలిపోయే మరి నువ్వో ఈశ్వరమ్మ సత్యసాయికి జన్మనిచ్చి జగతికి దేవదేవునందించి నీ కంటి పాపలో చంటి పాపగా ఆరాధించితివి. ఆ ఘన కీర్తి నీకుగాక ఇంకెవరికి దక్కునమ్మా ఈశ్వరమ్మ దేవుడమ్మ. రత్నాకర వంశపు రాజమాత సమతకు మమతకు పునాది వేసిన పునీత నీతికి సేవా నిరతికి నిలచిన నవ్య గీత మదరు తెరిసాను మరిపించిన దైవమాత నిదురించిన భక్తికి తొలి కోడి కూత మహిళామణి లోకానికి భగవద్గీత నినుగన్న పుడమి తల్లికి సన్నిహిత రత్నాకర వంశపు రాజమాత.